Hi guys, this is Bear. I'm going to share another great book with you today at BearTalk. A few months ago, I shared a book on my podcast by Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. At that book, I find that Mark Manson probably is one of the most greatest storytellers of this planet because he can use some really simple and interesting, engaging language to share some stories and then reveals the profound philosophy or theory or meanings behind the story, which is I really like that. So today I'm going to share another book, Everything is Fucked, a book about hope. So yeah, he shared a lot of stories in this book, and also he opened the book with an engaging story. It's a story about the World War II hero Witold Pulaski. So Pulaski, he is one of the bravest men during the World War II. He is the only man who went to the Auschwitz concentration camp on purpose and then get out trying to save someone and then trying to save people and then get out successfully. And after the World War II, he also fight for the people of Poland, the freedom of of Poland. Yeah. So this story, I don't want to retell the story again, but it reveals a really interesting question. It starts a really interesting question that if you see some of the darkest, maybe the darkest side of human's nature, how would you still be hopeful about life and also would like to fight for the future of this world? So this is really curious. So it reveals the theme of this book, hope. There are different layers or different perspective about hope. So in this book, Mark Manson, he reveals 3 layers of hope. The first one is the control. If you take control of yourself or take control of the environment or take control maybe with other people, which means you have hope for yourself. And the second layer is the value. If you have the right value, which means your life is meaningful and which also probably means your life is hopeful. The third layer is community. This is another layer of hope. If you lose this part, your life will be hopeless. And if you want to take control of your life or take control of your hope, this is the 3 aspects that you can try to work on. I don't want to repeat the whole book in this short video, but only a few key takeaways which I've learned from this book. So the first thing is the control. Speaking of control, who's control our decision? Of course of course yourself, right? But everyone has 2 types of brains in our head. The first one is the thinking brain, which can provide some logic or rational reasons for you to doing something. And the second one is the feeling brain, which is what you're feeling about something emotion. So who's in charge? We sometimes think, okay, I'm a rational person. My thinking brain, like just take charge. I know the reason I'm doing things, even something I'm not willing to do that, but probably it starts from a reason. For example, if you are smoking, if you try to give up, if you try to quit smoking, but sometimes you just light a cigarette and you just give yourself, okay, I'm too busy today. So this is the reason for you to do that, right? So we think we do everything for a reason, but actually not. The feeling brain is the one who takes the charge. The feeling brain is the one who holds the wheel of your life. And your feeling make decisions for most of the things. Your thinking brain, what does the thinking brain do? The thinking brain only provides the reason for you to do it, make you feel better. Like what I said, for example, you lit up a cigarette after work. Maybe it's the reason for you, it just feels boring. And you feels like you want to go back to your routine of your daily life habits, but you give yourself a really good reason, like I'm too tired today, I worked too hard today, I need a cigarette. Yeah, so this is something that really matters. And for that, emotional problems only can solved with emotional solutions. Take cigarette for example again. There are always some really disgusting image on the package of cigarettes, right? So it's just to try to rise your negative feeling, like you're disgusting. It feels disgusting to see some picture like that, and you say, okay, I should not keep smoking again. But sometimes if you really want to smoke, you will ignore that image and you will give yourself a really good reason, like, okay, this is only they do it on purpose, they're trying to persuade me not to smoke anymore, so I can ignore it. Yeah, it's also like one reason that you choose to do. So sometimes I think, like what Maya what's that saying, like people always forgot what you're saying, people always forgot what you're doing, but people will never forget what you make them feel. So yeah, I think try to keep that in mind. You have two brains, thinking brain and feeling brain, and try to talk to your emotional feelings sometimes and provide hope. So this is the first takeaway I've learned from it. We have two brains. The second is the value. It's quite interesting, like our narration about ourselves, or our narration about our past and future stories, define who we are and who we will be, right? This is really common. But like your past stories always define your identity. For example, like you tell yourself, I'm not the type of person who can do public speaking. Even your presentation is really good, and your communication is really good, and even your language is really good. But on the stage, when you're going to give a public speaking, and you feel nervous, or you just feel I can't make it, right? That's your past stories, maybe some past experience, some negative experience, just define your identity as a people who cannot talk in public. But the future stories define your hope. Like for me, take an example. I am a designer, so I sometimes know I have a better day, better work day, and I also have some up and down, right? I have the really flat days. So I design my perfect working day on purpose. Like I know what will I do if I spend 20 minutes for meditation before work. My performance in the morning will feel quite good. So if I know that, that will give me hope, and I can try to keep doing that, right? So try to design your future self. For me, as an example, is the method that I use to build hope, which means you can always improve, right? So this is the second point of the hope value. Your value defines your hope. Your future self defines your hope. Right. The third takeaway is the most interesting things I've learned. That is engaging with pain. So pain, it is something that cannot be avoided. Pain is inevitable, but suffer is something you can choose. You can choose not to suffer from that thing. And in this book, Everything is Fog, Mark Manson, he gave a really extreme example of the Vietnam burning monk. The guy during the Revolutionary War, like 15 years ago, he's trying to protest for the Buddhist in Vietnam. And this monk, his name is Thi Quan Do. So he just suicide in the public by burning himself during the meditation. He didn't move a muscle or didn't shout it out for even a single voice. So during the whole protest, he lit him up. He put all the gasoline on himself and lit him up and suicide. So this is a really suffering moment for all the Buddhists, but something strange that is really inspiring for other people. That's what human beings can do. Yeah, this is a really extreme example of engaging with pain. And I do have some not that crazy experience, like when I was running the half marathon a few months ago. My left foot is really hurt because it's really hurt, and I keep talking to myself, pain is inevitable, suffer is a choice. Yeah, and I managed to run it through. So yeah, I think you can always choose if you're going to take the suffer. You always have the choice. Yeah, so this is the third takeaway I've learned from this book. Yeah, this book, Everything is Fucked, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend that if you're quite interested about hope or improving your life or something like that, just read it. It's really a good book. And also there are other books recommended in this book, like Jocko Willink, his Extreme Ownership was recommended in this book. And also another great writer, Nassim Taleb, so he writes some really good books too, was also recommended in Everything is Fog. Right, I hope you like this video, because it's I'm not sure it's shared enough message, but hope you like it, and thank you for watching and listening. If you have any suggestions or comment, please leave it below this video. I will see you in another video soon. Bye.